Shay here, and today we're celebrating. So I recently hit 5K on this channel, so I want to thank you all so very much for the love and support you've been giving this channel over the last 5.5 years, which is how long I've been on the platform. And I just love and adore interacting with you guys so often, and it's just, I love you all. I never thought I'd get to this point on my channel, so yes, I am very, very grateful to each and every one of you who watches my content, who takes my recommendations and ends up enjoying them. That's why I got on this platform at all, and I just greatly adore each and every one of you. So to celebrate, we're gonna do a Q&A. I haven't done a Q&A on this channel for a long bit, so that's what we're gonna do today. I've got questions from my YouTube community page, as well as Instagram, and those questions end up being entries into a giveaway. So real quick, I'm going to tell you who the giveaway winner is, and that is the adorable TAKUTO from TAKUTO. He has a YouTube channel. I will link him down below, and I just need him to DM me either on Insta or Twitter, wherever he's more comfy, with his info, and I will send him a blind manga box. So he's not going to know anything that's in the box, but I'm going to send him a box of things, and that's the winner of the giveaway. So happy to have that taken care of right away here at the beginning. I thought that would be fun just to know right away. And let's get into the questions. We're going to start with Instagram, and then we'll go to the YouTube community page. So first up, this is from Kelly over at Mythic Madness, and that's, what book and manga series has surprised you the most? Oh, I gotta think, because book-wise an answer, and then manga-wise there's an answer. I think manga-wise my biggest surprise was actually Haikyuu, because sports manga is not something I'm truly passionate about, but Haikyuu I'm obsessed with. Book-wise, that would probably be, honestly, the author Helen Hard. She does really taboo, really hard-hitting romances. They're darker for sure. Most people don't get along with her writing at all, but for some reason I eat it up. So those are probably the biggest surprises. Marg over at Marg Reads Manga says, what's your next goal you have for your channel? Congrats. Thank you, Marg. And honestly, like, I don't set hard and fast goals with my channel. The biggest thing I'm working on is I want to up the quality of what I'm doing on my channel. I like the content I'm putting out, but I just want it to be higher resolution, maybe a bit more B-roll, a little more aesthetic. So in my opinion, that's upping my quality. And so that's what I'm working on currently with the channel. So that's the next goal. Landmark wise, I mean, I would love to reach 8K by the end of the year, because that would basically be doubling my subscribership in a year, which I've done the last couple of years. Pie in the sky goal would be 10K by the end of the year, but I don't put a lot of stock in those because I don't have a lot of control there. I just hope to continue to make great content and have you guys enjoy it. From Instaham on Instagram, it says, hi, how many pets do you have? Say a little about them. So I have my 2 cats. Kaladin is my black tuxedo cat, and Lightsong is my brown tabby. Yes, they are both named for Brandon Sanderson characters. Kaladin is from the Stormlight Archive, and Lightsong is from Warbreaker, which is my favorite Sanderson book. We also have 1 chicken left. 2 of our chickens died. We used to have 3. And so we have 1. Her name's Kiki, and I adore her. And technically her name came from the Poison Study series by Maria V. Snyder. Kiki was the main character's horse. Heather from Hia Booktubes asks, what genre got you into reading? Well, I read a lot as a kid, so kids fiction, obviously. But what got me back into reading as an adult was actually the Carpathian series by Christine Feehan. And I loved that. And then I took another break when I was going through too much. And then what got me back into it was the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, which is why that series means a lot to me, and I probably enjoy it more than most people do now that they reread it. Both those series, like, I love and adore, and they mean a whole lot to me, so I would say those 2. Rachel's Geeky Stuff asks, favorite manga that you don't get to talk about often? Well, there's a couple that I don't talk about as often as I probably should, and that's Dengeki Daisy. Granted, that's an age gap, so that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And then Dawn of the Arcana. I love Dawn of the Arcana. Ray Toma is one of my favorite mangaka, and I adore it. And, you know, I talk about Akiko Higashimura a lot. I've read all of their works that are currently in English. I do have the first volume of Tokyo Terroreba Girls Returns. I haven't read it yet. That's to be read very soon. That's top of my digital priority reading list. And that's a mangaka I'm really passionate about. So those, I don't talk about them as often as I should. What's your favorite thing about reading is what June Hales 300 asks. My favorite thing about reading is just, I think, kind of the escapism that I feel as I read. I really enjoy just jumping into somebody else's problems and putting my own away for a while. So I like that escapism, and I like having that opportunity to kind of emote. Sometimes I'm really bad about like keeping all of my feelings pent up to the point where like I'm gonna explode. So books are kind of a way to kind of slowly let that valve out. Between my books and my manga, I tear up, I get emotional, so that valve doesn't reach critical point. Between that and like anime movies and shows, I get to emote pretty well. So probably just, you know, the escapism and the emoting through that so I don't get pent up. Valmarie93 asks, what are some Japanese only manga that you'd like to see translated into English? In general, just more shoujo and josei. I do think there's a bigger audience for it now than there ever has been. Obviously anything Akiko Higashimura or Ray Toma. I would love more Iosaki Saka. There's so many. I would love more by, what's their name? Jun Miyazuki, the one who did After the Rain, because I adored After the Rain and the art was so good. I would love anything else that they do. But I haven't read any of those yet. I'm still working on learning Japanese, so. And then Maeve asked me, did you ever think you'd hit 5K? P.S. You deserve it. I love Maeve. She's one of my favorite humans. But no, I didn't think I'd ever get to this point with my channel. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you again. Okay, next up, Megan over at Meowth Vader. What has been the hardest part about being on YouTube? Honestly, like for me, I haven't had a ton of like struggles. I take breaks when I need to take breaks. I batch film when I can so that I can take breaks. So I haven't ever reached a point where I get burnt out. I'm pretty in tune with what I need when it comes to this space. And if I need a break, I take it. And like there was a period a couple of years ago where I took a couple of weeks off just because I was a bit overwhelmed, and I just did it without even really like saying, oh, I'm going to be gone. I kept up with my Instagram through that time, but YouTube was just a bit too much for me with what was going on. I was a business owner at the time, so things were overwhelming with that. So I just focused on that and then came back to the channel, and it's a little disheartening to see people grow past you in shorter amounts of time, of course. I'm kind of glad I haven't grown like that in the same breath, because this way I know that the people who are here legitimately want to be here. They're not just here because somebody shouted me out or because, you know, everybody's following this person, so I should too, kind of a thing. And I love that. I love how organic my audience is, and that you guys accept both my book side and my manga side, because a lot of the people who are growing faster than me are doing one or the other. But I love both so much that I would rather wait for an audience that will accept both parts of me. So Corabelle14 asks, what is your all-time favorite manga? Well, that changes depending on the day. Currently, right now, it's Yona of the Dawn. Yona of the Dawn is my ride or die. I love that series with so much of my being. It's not even funny. I have it right here for a reason. It's in almost all of my videos because of that. And Yona means a lot to me. So yeah, I think that Yona lives rent-free in my head all the time. So that's probably the biggest one. Chloe Caitlin 2020 asks, what's the first manga that you read? The first manga that I read was actually Fairy Tail. You can see my whole journey on this channel. I started reading manga like 4.5, maybe 5 years ago now. and you just kind of see me organically pick it up and see my whole journey on this channel. I haven't privated any videos except for like some let's play video game style ones because of copyright reasons, so I privated those. But outside of that, like, it's all there. You can go watch my whole journey. Laura Grace author asked, how do you balance your manga and novel reading? This is a really good question, actually. For me, a way that I balance it is, one, I'm usually reading 3 to 4 books at a time. So like when I'm in my car, I always have an audiobook going instead of music. I listen to music more like when I'm at home cleaning and stuff. That's my music listening time. But in the car, it's always an audiobook, and I always have like an ebook and a physical book going. And then I just pick up manga as I feel like I want to read it. And I have so much time to read because I only work 1 to 2 days a week. I don't have children. Like, my amount of time to read is a lot more than most people's. So, you know, keep the house tidy, read. Like, that's how I spend my day, is reading and making content for you guys. And so finding that balance isn't very hard for me because I can just do it by my mood. Or like, you know, sometimes if I'm struggling to get through a book and all I'm craving is manga, it's like, okay, once you finish this book, you can pick up a couple volumes of manga and then pick up the next book. And so I kind of do a reward system that way when I'm feeling bogged down by one or the other. And, you know, if I'm feeling bogged down by manga, I just read a couple books for a while and then I go back to the manga. So that's why some months you'll see me read a lot less manga, because it's like, okay, I need more books right now. And May's probably going to be a month where I'm reading more books than manga, just because I've read 48 in the month of April. So it's a lot. So I don't know that I'll be reading as much. Granted, I'm really excited about a lot of the ones that I physically own right now. So we'll see what happens. Shadow Hunted Wizard asks, if you could travel any place in the world post-COVID, where would you go? That's a tough question. I would love to go out of the US, obviously. I would love to go, well, I have a lot of friends that live in New York, so I'd love to go to New York and visit them and spend some time with them. I would love to go to Europe, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Greece. In a perfect world, I would spend 6 months traveling Europe. But that's not going to happen. I would love to go to Japan one day, but I need to learn how to say allergic to fish so that I make sure I don't order anything that's going to kill me. And I would love to go to like Australia, New Zealand. I have lots of travel plans in my head. So the first place I would probably go is like New York. New York, or like to visit Izzy and Tamika somewhere in the middle. Like, that's probably what I do. Faith Simon 971 says, what are some shoujo manga recommendations? Well, I have lots of like recommendations all over this channel, so I'm not gonna list too many here, but my top ones that I recommend to everybody that are shoujo are Yona of the Dawn, Requiem of the Rose King, and Love Me Not by Yosaki Saka. Do you have any new favorite washi tapes? I go through phases with my washis, so I don't have any new favorites at the moment. I did recently get some really cute like pastel colors, so you'll probably see those in my journal for the next little while. Okay, those are all the questions from Instagram. Let's go to the community post and do all of those. Give me just a moment here. Cora asks, what's your all-time favorite manga? We already answered that one. That's Yona. Kaori Miyanabe? Sorry if I butchered your name. If you could only ever buy one more manga series that you don't currently own in your collection before every series in the world disappears, which one would you buy? Oh gosh, I don't even know. Probably Yakuza Lover, because that's another one that's living rent-free in my head right now. Because, man, Yakuza Lover. So steamy. Put it on your pre-order lists, y'all. This is Taku's question. He says, congratulations. Kind of a weird question, but have you ever tried reading the manga Land of the Lustrous? I feel like you'd really enjoy it. I read the first volume and it was a little too bonkers for me. But now that it's on KU, I think I might try reading it again. Because I tried that very early in my manga reading, and now that, you know, I read bonkers plots all the time, I think it'll be a little bit easier for me to digest, so I'm going to revisit Land of the Lustrous. Liz R asks, If you had to marry any manga character, who would it be? Kuga. It would be Kuga from Cutie and the Beast, because Kuga, personality-wise, in a lot of ways, is very much like my husband, minus, like, the nerdy, geeky side, but, like, in his, like, personality and demeanor and the fact that he's just a giant teddy bear, that's my husband. So I would choose Kuga. E. Danielle asks, congrats. My question is, when did you start collecting manga? Again, it's like 4.5 years ago. You can see the whole journey on my channel. Maria Velasquez says, congratulations. What was the first manga you bought? Again, the first volume of Fairy Tail. Melissa over at Libraries and Labradors asks, if you could live in a romance novel setting, what would it be? Ooh, that's a really good question. You can tell I didn't read these before. God, I don't know. Because I don't necessarily want to live in, like, Regency times. I like my plumbing and all those kinds of things. I like having a toilet. I don't know. Clearly something modern, maybe something with a paranormal element. You know, maybe make my husband one of the Carpathian guys and I would be happy. I don't know. I'm gonna mull on that and I'll DM you later. Okay, Melissa? Marg saying congrats. Crystal saying congrats. We've got a repeat of a question. And then Heather asked, any recommendations for kids mangas? And I put Yuzu the Pet Vet out there, but you know, you have to be aware that animals are going to be injured because you're dealing with a vet clinic. So if you think your kid can handle that, then great. But most of what I read is geared towards teens and adults, not really kids. So I don't really have a ton of recommendations there. So if you manga readers who read a lot more than me have recommendations for kiddos, put them down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little celebration. Again, Taku, I'm so excited that you're the winner. DM me. We'll get your package sent to you. And again, thank you guys so much. I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.